my friends. It is the finale this week in terms of post-burn reviews for the KRINGLE candle spring and summer launch, which will be happening at noon Eastern Standard Time this Friday, March 1st. Today we are going to be discussing Country Candle's lemon tea and roses. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get this post-burn review in for you guys, but I was optimistic, and sure enough, we're gonna roll with it today. So this candle has been burning for, well, not at this burn. This current burn, it's been going for about 4.5 hours, but I have had a total of around 18 hours of burn time on this candle so far. So I feel like I'm in a decent enough spot to be able to let you know how this candle is performing for me. So this candle, in full disclosure, before I get into the review, was sent to me by KRINGLE Candle. I am a KRINGLE Candle brand ambassador. That means I do have an affiliate discount code. I have a link, and occasionally I do receive things from them in PR. So I did want to make that known before we go any further into this review. As always, my opinions are honest and they are my own. And if you've been with KRINGLE for a while, you do know that they are pretty good about receiving honest feedback. So this candle that you are looking at is the large apothecary style jar. This fragrance will also be available in a medium-sized apothecary style jar, as well as daylights and wax melts. That's pretty much across the board for the 6 country fragrances that will be offered, and then there will also be 6 KRINGLE fragrances that are offered, and the only difference between those are the jar formats are more of a tumbler style, and they will also be offering the KRINGLE fragrances in their 3-wick 14.5 ounce jars, which are the same size as like Bath and Body Works jars, and like Yankee has a new 3-wick that's like that as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the fragrance notes of this candle. The fragrance notes on lemon tea and roses are lemon, grapefruit, bergamot, and green tea. Those are the top notes. Mid notes of jasmine, violet, basil, mint, and rose, and base notes of moss, amber, sandalwood, and musk. So after we had a couple of country candles that had pretty narrowed down, or I would say pretty simplified fragrance notes, for this candle, they decided to list a whole host of notes here, which can confuse a lot of us, which is why I'm going to let you guys know what my nose smells. Before I tell you what it smells like, can we just take a moment to appreciate this beautiful wax color? I will have to say that out of the entire lineup, this candle is probably my favorite wax color. And if you caught the cold sniff impressions video that I did with my husband, I will make sure that I have that linked at the end of this video for you as well as in the description box down below. My husband said that he would love to paint a guitar this color. My husband is a lineman by trade, and every time I say that, people ask, what team does he play for? And I said, no, like he keeps your power on. But a little fun hobby of his is he enjoys woodworking and he likes to build guitars. So maybe one day he will get to paint a guitar this color. But let's get back to the fragrance notes here. My nose definitely smells the tea note is probably at the forefront. That's the first thing that I smell. Now, the tea fragrance that I'm getting in here reminds me quite a bit of the tea note that is in herbal tea, if you are familiar with that fragrance from KRINGLE Candle. It's not like a black tea note. It's not a chai tea. I find that is more prevalent in last spring's tea time. This is definitely like a citrus-based tea. I definitely get the bergamot and a little hint of lemon in here. However, I will tell you that especially as this candle burns a little bit longer, that rose note is in the background. I do detect a floral in the background. I don't really smell like herbaceousness like a basil or a mint so much in here, but probably that floral note of jasmine, violet, and rose. I think the jasmine and the violet actually, in a strange way, kind of prevent the rose note from becoming too heady. Fun fact about me, me. I am not the type of person who typically gets like headaches from fragrance. I'm not overly sensitive to fragrance. However, there are certain floral fragrances that can give me a headache, and one of them is rose. Rose can be very heady to me, and sometimes it can be borderline headache inducing for me. The other fragrance that can do that for me sometimes is lily. So I do detect a little bit of rose in the background, but it's a very soft, pretty rose, but it is there. But I would say that when you walk into a room, you're gonna hit that lemon tea scent is what is going to hit your nose first. But then if you go back to the room, or if you keep smelling it, you're definitely going to notice the rose fragrance in there. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So if you have been watching some of the reviews that I've posted this week, or if you have seen some of the other ambassadors post in the Kringle Candle Facebook group or over on their private Instagram, or not private, but public Instagram pages, a lot of them are echoing, we're all kind of echoing the same sentiment, that the new wicks that Kringle has used for this country format, they burn really nicely. However, the trade-off on them is that they do take quite a while to pull out, especially upon the initial burn. And even in subsequent burns, I would say that you're going to be giving yourself at least a good, I'd say 20 to 30, I would say probably on the safe side, let's echo like a 30-minute pull out time with these new wicks. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to lift this up so that way you can see the flames. Now, like I said, this candle has already had a total amount of 18 hours of burn time. Yesterday, I had this candle lit for 8.5 hours, and you can see how clean the jar still is. I have not touched the wicks at all. There's no carbon ball going on, like there's no carbon balling going on. I think there's only been one fragrance that's gotten a little bit of those carbon balls, and I want to say it may have been the charred pineapple scent. Got maybe a little bit thicker, like carbon residue on the wicks, but even then I still haven't touched it, and they seem to be like self-trimming wicks, but there's no soot on the glass, which I love a clean burning candle. You guys, I've done a lot of reviews this week, so my words, I'm starting to trip over them. All right, so the burn is very clean. It's good. It's a good, clean burn. In terms of strength and throw, I'm going to settle on a solid 7 for this candle. I have been moving it around. In fact, initially when I lit this candle up, I had it in a hurricane in my bedroom, which has lower ceilings in there. I would say the ceilings in my bedroom are about 9 feet tall. You know, obviously it's a bedroom. It's not as large as my open concept living room. I'll go ahead and insert some B-roll right here so that way you can see what my living room typically looks like. It has high ceilings. The home is approximately 20 years old, 1,800 square foot home, single story. Like I said, high ceilings in the living room, open concept that opens up into the kitchen, but the bedrooms are more closed concept. So when I had this candle in a hurricane on the first burn in my bedroom, I lit it up, and then I actually left the house to go do something else. Now I did have family members home, so I didn't leave the candle completely unattended. But when I came home approximately 2.5 hours later, when I came into my room, I was like, whoa, this is really strong in the hurricane. In fact, I decided that I was like, ooh, if I leave this burning any longer, it's going to give me a headache, because like I said, I picked up the lemon tea note at first, but then I smelled the rose, and then all I could start smelling, I don't want to say all I could start smelling, but I could definitely tell that my head was becoming a little bit sensitive to that rose fragrance. Then I thought, okay, tomorrow I'm going to burn this one out in my living room. So I did move it out into the living room yesterday. And I'm going to tell you that I definitely appreciated the fragrance a lot more in that room. And that's why I settled on more of like a strength and throw of a 7. Now, I will say that I was still able to detect the fragrance. The way that I would describe this, like, yes, obviously, as it's saying here, lemon tea and roses. The fragrance itself is what I would say is very soft. It's very pretty. I think that's like, it's a pretty spring and summer fragrance. It reminds me of a home of maybe like a sophisticated woman, or like I think of like an English cottage or something like that when I smell this fragrance. It's perfect for like, if you were to host like tea time or something like that. Some people might classify this as a traditionally feminine type of fragrance, but you guys know that doesn't always mean anything. That doesn't mean anything because my husband is the manliest of manly men, and he, quote unquote, and he really likes this fragrance. I will say that when I had it in the living room yesterday, I noticed myself sometimes becoming a little nose blind to it. However, I think that that is just me becoming accustomed to fragrance because my mother-in-law came over after this candle had been burning for about 4 hours. And the minute she walked through the door, she was like, "Ooh, it smells really good in here." She said, "What are you burning?" And I told her that it was this fragrance. And it was interesting that she said that because by that point I was kind of like, am I smelling it? Am I not? So I think that's always something for us to keep in mind when we are critiquing a candle. If other people are walking into our home and they're smelling it, then I think it's okay. So anyways, like I said, strength and throw of around a 7 on this one. If you do want increased strength and throw, then go ahead and pop it into a hurricane. But I would say that if you're sensitive to fragrance or if you're sensitive to florals like I am, be cautious about burning it in a hurricane in a smaller room, or maybe a room that has more of a closed concept, because you might run the risk of getting a headache. I have had my windows open. That may also impact how strong a candle is performing for me. But like I said, it's definitely detectable. This one is a really nice fragrance. I know a couple of you guys were saying that you were hoping that I would get a post-burn review out for you guys. And so here it is. I made it. Yay. So this one does get 2 thumbs up from me. This is a fragrance that I really enjoy. I have been pairing this with Bath & Body Works Daffodil Daydreams, that Happy Easter candle. I will have a review coming up for that. Hopefully, I'm hoping to have that up on Sunday, I'm thinking. I've also been burning this with, there's a Homeworks candle called White Tea Leaf. That pairing is a really nice combination. So if you have that candle currently in your collection, this one complements it really well. But this is a really, really nice fragrance. I'm sure it would smell really nice with herbal tea if you have that one from Kringle already in your collection. But yeah, really nice fragrance. It gets 2 thumbs up from me. I do really enjoy it. I'm trying to think. I feel like this video might be slightly longer just because it's kind of like wrapping up all of the post-burn reviews for this week. As I have stated earlier in this video and all throughout this week, this candle will be available tomorrow on the Kringle Candle website starting at noon p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My discount code is Katie15 and it will save you 15% off of your purchases. That is an affiliate discount code that is eligible for a commission, so only use that if you are comfortable doing so. And I do appreciate it if you do choose to support my channel in that way. But honestly, even if it's not in your budget right now to shop right at the launch, remember that this is not a limited edition launch. This is their spring and summer collection. These fragrances should be around for quite some time. There are other options where if you're unsure about a fragrance, I always would say probably default to ordering the Daylights or the Wax Melts, so that way you can get an idea. In the past, they have sometimes offered like a bundle, like sort of like a small bundle discount on a lot of those Daylights. So that could be something that we would be looking for. Kringle has not let us know if they're going to be offering that, but I just recall that being there in the past. I'm trying to think what else I want to say. All of the post-burn reviews that I have already conducted this week will be in the description box down below. So if you missed any of those, feel free to go back and check those out. I did just a recap here. Obviously, I've done this candle. I reviewed Bananas Foster, ice cream sandwiches, coconut cake pops, charred pineapple, strawberry lemonade, and now this fragrance. And then the other 6 fragrances that will be offered tomorrow are Cotton Flowers and Sand and Santal. Those are two more fragrances that will be released in the Country Candle lineup. And then in the Kringle Candle lineup that I did not review yet, there is Coral, there is Sage and Palo Santo, Eucalyptus and Cotton and Gardenia. And those candles, I will have post-burn reviews coming up on those. Probably, I will say I would get around to those within the next month and a half or so. I do have a couple of other candles currently in my collection from other brands that I need to get some post-burn reviews on. And as well, I've got a lot of candles in my collection that I definitely want to finish up and enjoy. So those you will probably see kind of scattered around a little bit more over the next month and a half. But if you have any more questions about a lot of these candles, please feel free to leave a comment down below or to send me a direct message on Instagram, and I will try to answer them the best I know possible. Also, if you missed my cold sniffs impressions video, I will have that linked at the end of this video, so that way you can see not only my first impression, but my husband filmed that video with me and he gives kind of his perspective on what his nose was smelling. So you kind of get a 2-for-1 deal there. I'm trying to think anything else. I would say that of all of these post-burn reviews, the candle that I loved the most out of this launch so far has been ice cream sandwiches. That one was one that I went ahead and took advantage of the pre-sale order that KRINGLE was offering to its ambassadors. I went ahead and ordered a backup of that one because I do enjoy it that much. So, all right, you guys, I'm sorry this review got a little bit long, but I was trying to just include all of the final information for you guys here. I'm tapping out, I think, for the next couple of days, but I do want to say thank you to so many of you for watching these reviews, for giving me feedback, for a thumbs up. All of those things really help me out. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, I would love it if you subscribe for more candle content, because I really like to talk about candles here. And if you like candle content, I think you would like my channel. But again, thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to leave a comment in the description box down below. And I want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today. Until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.